There are so many different ways you can paint. Welcome to Handmade. I am Jill, and today we are talking about paint. Here at HGTV, as you can imagine, we go through hundreds, literally thousands of cans of paint, jars, bottles, sprays every single year on our projects. And even for us, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming to know which paint to use. We figured the best way is to choose your material and decide which paint you want to use from there. Obviously, we have a lot of opinions and we'd love to share them with you today. Join us for this Paint 101 primer lesson. Before we get into the projects, we're going to go over the basics. Paint is either oil-based or water-based, and what makes them different is the agents that they're made up of that bond them to the surfaces that you're putting them on, and obviously there are pros and cons to both. Let's break down oil-based paint a little bit. The pros are that it's often more affordable than water-based paint. Also, it tends to be more durable than water-based paint, so it's great to use in highly trafficked areas or spots that get wet. Also, it creates a nice smooth finish. The cons of oil-based paint, though, is drying and curing time can take a lot longer. Cleaning your brushes require harsh chemicals like mineral spirits or paint thinner. The fumes are really smelly and it tends to be higher in VOCs. You'll hear that term VOCs a lot when dealing with paint, and it means volatile organic compounds. Those are solvents that get released into the air as the paint dries. To limit your exposure to VOCs, look for a paint that the label reads low VOC. This means it has 100 parts per gallon or less. Versions of oil paint made with linseed oil contain fewer VOCs. Water-based pros are that drying takes less time than oil-based paint. There's definitely less odor while painting and after the fact, and cleanup only requires soap and water. Another pro is that it's really easy to find. Cons are it's not quite as durable in high traffic areas. It's definitely more expensive, and while it does dry quickly, it takes weeks to fully cure and it can be easily damaged during that time. If you don't know if your paint is water-based or oil-based, here's a little test. Put plain rubbing alcohol on a white cloth and test it on a little spot. If the paint is transferred onto the cloth, it's water-based paint. If the alcohol doesn't move the color, it's oil-based paint. The most common water-based paint for small projects is acrylic paint, but what does that even mean? Wikipedia defines it as a fast-drying paint made of pigment suspended in acrylic polymer emulsion, whatever that means. Here at HGTV, we use it for a variety of reasons. One being it comes in literally hundreds of colors. So many colors. And if one of these colors doesn't suit your taste, you can create your own. Right now, I'm using Delta paint. At HGTV, that's our paint of choice, mainly because it comes in a variety of colors. Acrylic paint in general cleans up really easy with just regular soap and water. It dries in about 20 to 30 minutes. And the best part is it's pretty cheap, and oftentimes it's on sale. Those were some paint basics. Now let's talk about materials. Would you like to learn about the best paint for wood? Sorry. I'm not sorry. Latex paint was named for latex rubber, but this water-based paint doesn't actually contain rubber. It's usually made with plastic resin. It's a go-to for DIYers and HGTV editors because it's easy to use and it's easy to clean up. Satin or semi-gloss are great sheens to choose. As we already touched on, oil paint can be pretty stinky, but it does have its place. It's commonly used on molding, cabinets, and furniture that gets a lot of daily use in high-traffic areas. It provides a protective coating and it creates a smoother finish than most water-based paints. A coat of primer makes everything go on more smoothly. Although you can use oil-based primers with latex paint, you must use an oil-based primer with an oil-based paint. Spray paint is great for pieces with lots of nooks and crannies, but it's harder to get a smooth finish on larger pieces, especially for beginners. It can also be pricier than other paints if you're making over a larger piece. And you have to use it outside. For small wood projects, acrylic can't be beat for the price and ease of use. Chalk paint is our favorite all-around choice for wood. It's low VOC and water-based, and it creates a soft, matte finish. Chalk paint is also great because the thick consistency means you don't have to sand or prime your material. Unless you're using a really smooth surface like laminate, you might want to rough it up with a sanding block first just to get the paint to adhere. Chalk paint also bonds to other materials like metal and plastic. It is a little bit more expensive than other paints, but a little goes a long way. Chalk paint wax is used to protect and seal your finished piece of furniture. And it's cool because you can put a little on and it gives it a nice matte, mellow finish, or you can buff it to a higher shine. You do want to be sure to let the wax cure overnight before you set anything on your furniture piece. Our next material we're going to use is just a basic galvanized bucket that you can buy at any home improvement store. It's cute as it is, but I want to use it for a drink bucket, so I'm going to take it up a level. The easiest way to do it is to use spray paint. We're using enamel-based spray paint, which is great because this is going to go outside, so that will prevent it from rusting. I'm just going to use some painter's tape to make some crisp lines. Make sure that you press it down really well so that your paint does not bleed when you start spraying. So I've got my painter's tape on it, and then I'm just going to add some letter stickers. Now that I've got my stickers and tape on, I'm going to take it outside and spray it. All right, so fingers crossed that we have nice smooth lines and a pretty good reveal. There we go, it looks so cute. Our next material is ceramic. And before you paint any ceramic piece, you want to clean it first. And you do that simply by cleaning it with rubbing alcohol and a clean cloth. A good thing about acrylic paint is a lot of them say multi-surface right on the label. And all we're going to do is draw whatever design or pattern, really whatever you want. I'm just going to do some little flowers. You just brush it on just like normal. An important key is you really have to let this paint dry really well before your next step. So this paint is not permanent as is, but there are a couple different methods you can do to make sure that it stays on, because most of them say that it takes at least 21 days for the paint to cure before it's dishwasher top rack safe. Or there's a faster baking method. This one in particular said let the paint cure for 8 hours and then bake it in a 375 degree oven for 45 minutes and let it cool with the oven door open. Now I'm going to add my detail in with just a decorative glass pin. This is the part where it can be kind of fun and creative. You really do not have to be an artist to do this. I kind of think it actually looks better the more organic and hand-drawn it is. While these paints are non-toxic, we suggest not really putting the paint where you'll be drinking from. And that's it. So now we're gonna let it sit for 8 hours and then we'll bake it. Acrylic paint is great for many things, and you can use it on fabric. If you mix in a fabric medium, it makes any acrylic paint go on smoothly and softly on fabrics. But there are other options. This is an awesome new product by Tulip, and we've used it to create all kinds of really cool decorative bags. Here I just have a basic canvas tote that you can get at any craft store. They make pillow covers, canvas totes, aprons, all kinds of things that you could paint. And I'm just gonna use that same old painter's tape and create a random pattern. I have no method to this. I am just literally making kind of an abstract pattern. And same as other spray paints, we're going to take this outside and paint it. It has really, really strong fumes, so you do want to be sure to do it outside. That's it. Let's take it out. While that one's drying, I painted some other ones earlier, so let's see how they come out. It is not bad for an affordable tote. You see here, I just kind of pinned down the straps just so I wouldn't get those painted. That one's cute, I like it. It's summery and beachy. So this fabric is washable. It does say to let it dry for 72 hours and then turn it inside out and wash it on the gentle cycle, and you can tumble dry it on low. The next material that we're going to talk about is terracotta, and we're going to paint it with an acrylic paint. You can use any acrylic paint really for outdoor projects, but this is specifically called patio paint, and it is weather resistant. It's great on porous surfaces like terracotta. It's self-sealing. It also dries really quickly, but you should allow it to cure for 72 hours before you put it outside. I'm just going to give this a couple coats all over and let it dry, and then we're gonna add some design to it. For these kind of projects, I really just like to use foam brushes. They rinse out really easily, but it doesn't leave little bristles. You can see the brush marks, but you'll see as I put on another coat or two, those disappear once they dry. Because the terracotta is so porous, the paint soaks in and it does dry really quickly. So in just a couple minutes, we can go ahead and give it a second coat. This will look so cute with some flowers in it on my front porch steps. Depending on the look you're going for, there are so many different things you can use to paint glass, but these are 3 of our favorites. The first one I'm going to start with is just using basic acrylic paint, and we're going to make waterproof jars by adding in nail polish remover. So you just add a little bit, just to make it a little bit thin, stir it, and be sure to use non-acetone nail polish remover. So you see that is the consistency of nail polish. Pour it in your jar, and just kind of roll it around so the paint runs, coating as much as possible. And then all you're gonna do is set it upside down and let it dry overnight. Now that these are dry, we wanna make them permanent and waterproof, so we're gonna bake them. Put them in a cool oven, turn it to 350 degrees, and bake it for 30 minutes. Turn the oven off and let them cool in the oven completely. Another method we're gonna do for our vases is frosted glass technique. I'm going to just use yard sale stickers so that I can have a perfect little dot. Place them randomly on my jar, and then we're gonna take it outside and spray paint it with frosted glass spray paint. This method creates the look of etched glass without having to go to the trouble of actually etching glass. That looks good. Now we're just gonna take it outside and spray it. Now that that's dry, we are just gonna peel away our little yard sale stickers. See what we've got. There we go. You could use any kind of tape to make a design or other shapes of stickers, but I am a sucker for anything polka dots, so this is my jam. Foam mercury glass is another HGTV fave. Start with mirror finish spray paint, then spray the glass with a 50-50 mixture of water and vinegar. Blot with the paper towel and let dry for a few seconds. Then repeat 6 more times. Once it's dry, it's flower ready. What material should we demystify next? Let us know in the comments below, and feel free to share your go-to painting tips. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe below. Thanks for watching. There are so many different things you can use to paint glass.